Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Marcus. I just saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Oh my gosh, the feels. It was incredible from beginning to end. It's an awesome movie, especially with a bittersweet ending as well. So, for those of you who haven't seen Black Panther 2, just let me know in the comments down below if you guys have seen it or have not seen it. But for those who practically have seen it, just let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you guys have any questions about it, just let me know as well. But this is definitely one of the most anticipated movies in the MCU for sure. And this definitely closes out phase 4 of the MCU as well. So it's a really good ending for that too. But I will say this, there's a lot to pretty much unpack as well. And just to let you guys know, this is definitely going to be a spoiler review. So for those of you guys, like I said, who haven't seen the movie, make sure you guys check it out. It's definitely really good. I saw it Friday night, and I know I wanted to do it with my other friends. They actually wanted to do something else and had to leave, so I wanted to do a reaction video on this as well, because next time I'll definitely do this to where my friends can come on there and they can give their review about what they thought about Black Panther review. So we'll definitely talk about that as well, have a discussion about it. But this is actually going to be my reaction and a spoiler review for what my thoughts are, because I know people have different opinions about the movie, but all that's fair, especially on Rotten Tomatoes, it actually has a high review. So I believe last time I checked, it was around like 90, I think it was like close to like 90, 89% last time I checked. So it's a pretty high percentage as of right now though. So, but anyway, they had a lot to do, especially at Marvel Studios, is because just the sequel alone, they had different plans going on. But I'll talk about the movie first before I get into the background synopsis. So, but anyway, as far as everything else goes, this is definitely a beautiful tribute, especially to what happened in real life to Chadwick Boseman, who was the primary Black Panther in the MCU. Unfortunately, he had passed away in 2020 from cancer, colon cancer as a matter of fact. They had to do like whole production, and then on top of that, COVID actually happened too. So those two things is pretty much what halted the project, because there were talks about doing a sequel of Wakanda Forever. However, the story was still going to be the same as well, because basically in this movie, from the sequel from the first film, it's basically the first film from 2018. And so basically they were still going to talk about grief and loss. In the original story that Ryan Coogler had wrote, they were going to touch base on loss, because it was 5 years prior to their battle against Thanos. And so T'Challa, Shuri, and the rest of the Dora Milaje, they came back from the blip, and they were going to pretty much figure out what had happened within those 5 years that they've missed when they were missing a king. And so they were trying to get back those 5 years. So they were going to tackle the seriousness of loss in the film. And Namor and his people, they were definitely going to be a part of this film, especially from what Ryan Coogler said in his recent interview. But COVID happened, and unfortunately Chadwick lost his life to colon cancer. And honestly, I had no idea that he was even ill to begin with. And he was one of my favorite actors, and he's still my favorite actor till this day. And him passing away was pretty much left a hole, and not just in Marvel Studios, but the world entirely, because of course he was one of the most prolific actors of my time. And the fact that he played a character that's been around Marvel Comics for a long time as well, in King T'Challa, Black Panther, because Chadwick was very passionate about playing the character. He even said so many times as well. And he even mentioned the fact that even though when he was sick, he wanted to go all out and still bring life to T'Challa, which is the reason why it was so epic and noble at the same time as well, because no one had any idea that he was actually sick. So they basically tackled the loss, and then you can pretty much feel it, especially in this movie, the fact that Chadwick's presence is highly felt. You can definitely feel it, especially in this film. They pretty much pay honor to both Chadwick and T'Challa at the same time. However, they did keep T'Challa's name alive, and I'll get to that shortly as well, and I'll let you guys know what I mean by that. But basically, what happened is that ever since King T'Challa's passing, in the film that is, they actually were trying to, the world, especially the US government, was trying to get vibranium from Wakanda. And you guys remember the first film, that's what happened when T'Challa was at the press conference at the UN by letting the United Nations in on the vibranium for Wakanda. So he basically allowed the kingdom of Wakanda to be open to the public for the first time. And so after the battle with Thanos, Queen Ramonda actually went to the press conference, and she was pretty much telling them about the vibranium and how they need to actually let the vibranium be open to the rest of the public. And so that was pretty much where Namor and his people come in. Of course, in the comics, Namor is an Atlantean, and he comes from the kingdom of Atlantis. But here in the MCU, he's actually from a kingdom called Talokan. So Talokan, or Talakanians, they're underwater sea people, and I like the fact that they actually kept the entire story of Namor in the MCU, even though there were some slight changes, especially with his origins, but his origins is still the same as well, though, especially with how they derived it from the comics. So Namor's origin is definitely still the same, considering the fact that he mentioned that he was a mutant. And so the term mutant has been mentioned many times so far. So we got mutant references. So, and of course it makes sense because Namor is considered to be the first mutant anyway. And so chances are, I think in the future, they're going to at least let Namor and the X-Men collide with each other. And so they collide with each other in the comics, and I have a feeling they're going to collide with each other in the future as well. So regardless of the point, it's definitely going to be pretty cool. But yeah, Tenoch Huerta, shout out to you, man. Did a phenomenal job as Namor. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you playing Namor in the future as well. So, but anyway, Shuri, she was trying to create the heart-shaped herb to save her brother, of course, but it didn't work out. And so a year later, basically they've trying to figure out how to move on from King T'Challa, and then Ramonda was trying to talk to Shuri about, trying to create another Black Panther, but Shuri was saying how the Black Panther was part of the past. And so she basically didn't want to burn her ceremonial robe. And that's pretty much what they would wear whenever someone passes away and everything like that. And so you can see Shuri's growth, especially throughout this whole time. Basically her growth as a person, you can pretty much tell that she's taking this hard by pretty much focusing on her technology, by keeping herself busy. And so you can pretty much see, the theme of loss is played right in this film. And oh my gosh, Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda. Not only is she a queen in Wakanda, but she's also a queen in real life too. And Angela Bassett is a legend. There's a reason why she's a legend in the game right now, because she's a phenomenal actress. But she definitely does a really great job here. And you would think, especially with the way the trailer was actually playing, that Queen Ramonda was going to play a pivotal part in this movie, and she actually does. However, what happens to her technically catches me off guard, because I didn't even think that they would actually take her off at all, though. So, but going back to the relationship between the vibranium with what the Wakandans and the Talakans have, Namor actually wants the Wakandans to team up together so they can pretty much go up against the surface world, because Namor, as depicted in the comics, does not have a good relationship with the people of the surface world. And so that was one of the reasons why he wanted to try to at least take over, in the sense of trying to keep his people safe. He's a ruler. And so as the ruler of his kingdom, it's his duty and responsibility to keep his people from harm. The same thing with Wakanda, like how King T'Challa is a ruler of his people, and it's his responsibility to keep his kingdom from falling as well, especially with not having the vibranium being falling into the wrong hands. And so technically Namor, he's not really a villain, but he's actually an anti-hero in the comics as well, because basically he's not really a villain, but in the eyes of the people that don't understand him, he's technically a bad guy. And so he's the main antagonist in this film. And so basically, eventually, Shuri and Namor, Namor took Shuri to his underwater kingdom of Talokan, to where she actually sees his vibranium, right? And so actually when they saw the vibranium together, that was pretty much where he thought he could trust her, especially considering the fact that if you think about it like this, Wakanda and Talokan, they have like a common ally basically. So they have like a lot of things in common when it comes to how they want to keep the vibranium safe. We do get a chance to see Dominic Thorne's character, Riri Williams, my favorite character, Marvel Comics, Ironheart. Ironheart, as I said before, Ironheart is actually one of my favorite characters as well. And then on top of that, in the comics, she's actually in the intern with Tony Stark. Tony Stark actually endorses her to work for her as Ironheart as well. So it's pretty cool. We actually do get a chance to see a female Shellhead. So it's actually pretty awesome though. So, but she plays a part in this as well, especially with her relationship with Shuri. You can pretty much see that. But Namor kidnaps Shuri and Riri to take back to his kingdom, and he was going to either let them go if they could pretty much work out the negotiations of them teaming up against the United Nations as well. Everett Ross definitely plays a part in this as well, because he actually is a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. He's actually married to Contessa, who's actually the one that's recruiting the Thunderbolts in the future film as well. They were actually married, right? And so he was actually giving out the different secrets to the Wakandans as well. And that was actually pretty cool as well. You can pretty much see the relationship that he has with the Wakandans and how he actually built that trust and that factor as well. And so, but basically what happened was Nakia, who was actually T'Challa's wife, she ends up saving Shuri and Riri from Talokan, and then they basically went back to Wakanda. Oh my gosh, and then the Okoye and the Dora Ajay, like the female warrior Wakandans, like they practically pour out their emotions as well, especially Okoye's performance. And like I said, Angela Bassett's performance was definitely really good as well though. So, but pretty much, just to make the long story short, like Namor didn't like the fact that Shuri pretty much betrayed probably their friendship more than likely. And then she pretty much like went back to Wakanda with Ramonda, and Namor and his people actually attacked Wakanda. And then when Riri was underwater, not only did he just breach the premises, but he also flooded one of the gates in Wakanda as well. And so basically Ramonda saved Riri, and then basically what happened was Ramonda drowned. And I didn't even expect what happened to, like I just said, I didn't even expect Ramonda to actually lose her life that quickly, because like I said, it made it seem as though she was going to be the main protagonist or pretty much have her own scenes throughout the entire movie, but it wasn't the case. So it actually got me right there too though, and I could actually hear some people in the crowd and in the theater, they actually cried as well. And oh, let me tell you guys this, the intro, oh my gosh, get ready to see the intro. The intro, oh my gosh, it'll definitely tug you right there, because it definitely tugged me in the feels as well. So because I was with my sister and my friends, and it was just, oh my gosh, it was just, you guys will love the intro too. But again, definitely a great dedication for Chadwick Boseman as well, though. So, but anyway, the final battle goes is the fact that Namor gave Shuri a bracelet, which she actually used to create the harp-shaped herb. And so with her doing that, she actually becomes the next Black Panther. But before she actually goes through the ceremony, in the astral plane, she actually meets Eric Killmonger. So Michael B. Jordan reprised his role as Eric Killmonger in the first film. Of course, Eric Killmonger in the comics is also the antagonist to T'Challa as well, though. So they were basically like sworn enemies and everything, because they both have different ideals of how they want to rule their nation. And so, to make the long story short, Eric convinced her that if it was up to him, he would get the business done. And that's what he was trying to basically to persuade her that, are you going to be like T'Challa, be all noble, or are you going to be like me? You're going to get things done, get business done. And so she woke up, now realizing she has the power of the Black Panther, dons the suit, and she actually meets up with the Jabari, which of course led by M'Baku. So Duke Winston, phenomenal performance as well. Duke Winston's an awesome actor and definitely one of my favorites as well, though. So I can't articulate very often of how cool Duke Winston is as M'Baku, because he definitely epitomizes the character, especially straight from the comics as well. And so basically the final battle ensues between Shuri and Namor, and I geeked out when Namor actually said Imperious Rex, because that's Namor's catchphrase in the comics as well, because in the comics, Imperious Rex in his language actually means I'm going to be victorious by any means necessary. And Thor actually asked that question in issue 1 from the 2008 story arc, where Thor actually asked Namor what Imperious Rex means, and Namor pretty much subtly told him that it basically means I'm going to take your Asgardian hide and I'm going to beat you up regardless. So, but that's what Imperious Rex means, is because it means that he's going to be victorious by any means necessary. So that's been Namor's cry from the beginning, and I'm actually glad that he actually added that in the movie, because that was so cool, and I geeked out for that too. But anyway, basically Shuri defeated Namor, and they came to an agreement to where they were going to become allies, and they were going to at least do what they can. Namora, which is Namor's cousin in the comics, and Atuma, who's actually one of Namor's councilmen in the comics as well, totally perfect as well. So they did a really great job with the characters, especially for Atuma and Namora. I know Atuma definitely fought Namor before too. I think in the future they're more than likely going to get involved to where we'll pretty much explore Namor's people a lot more for sure. So we'll definitely know that for sure. So, but yeah, as far as everything else goes, the end credit scenes, oh man. So the end credit scenes, definitely you guys should stick around for that too. Oh my gosh, it's so touching. So basically, Shuri had a chance to pretty much mourn T'Challa and then Ramonda by burning the ceremonial robe, and it was so touching too. And then all of a sudden we see a little boy coming towards Nakia, next to Nakia. A little boy was next to Nakia, and he was coming towards Shuri. And the little boy's name is actually Toussaint, so it's a French name actually. However, Nakia was telling Shuri that this is actually T'Challa's son, and he wanted to keep him away from the pressures of the kingdom. But then Toussaint actually told Shuri that his real name is actually T'Challa. He's the son of King T'Challa and the son of Nakia. And oh my gosh, that's touching. So technically they kept the name T'Challa in the MCU to keeping it. So it actually tugged me right there, because like you can pretty much like know that they actually wanted to keep the name of T'Challa in the MCU, because that was kind of like a worrisome factor if that they were going to take out the name T'Challa or the character itself after what happened to Bosman, unfortunately. But it was a great tribute to him as well, in the sense that the name is still going to be in place, because I like to think that T'Challa 2 is going to take the mantle of the Black Panther and King eventually as well, especially in the future Black Panther movies, in which you will practically see, especially by the end of the movie when it says the Black Panther will return, like mostly in most Marvel movies anyway, how they will say Spider-Man will return, Iron Man will return, let's see, Shang-Chi will return, and several other projects will return. The Guardians of the Galaxy, like you pretty much will see that, like those characters will return. So, but other than that, guys, it was amazing. Oh, I love the movie. I don't think it's as epic as the first movie because the first movie was really great on its own. But the second movie was pretty much, I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. But the first Black Panther movie was like a 9 out of 10. So it was really good. So I definitely give it a perfect rating for the first movie. But all in all, like I said, I love all the MCU movies because they're basically, most of them are pretty much like true to form from the comics, even though they'll sometimes add a little bit of changes for the scenes, but it's still true to form, especially for me and us as comic fans for sure though. So, but other than that, it was phenomenal. I mean, I'll definitely watch it again for sure. I mean, especially for Namor as well, because Namor, oh my gosh, Namor was incredible. And he's one of my favorite heroes growing up as a kid, or anti-hero growing up as a little kid. And then me having a lot of Namor comics, I was actually glad that he had a chance to actually show up in the MCU and everything. So Tinoch Huerta actually did a really great job. And like I said, Tinoch, shout out to you, man. So when we definitely meet down the road, definitely going to talk about Namor and other projects too, man. So yeah, I'll definitely get an interview with him down the road too, especially with the other cast members as well, because they all did a really great job, especially under the circumstances that they were given. Because like I said, a lot of things happened behind the scenes. I know most of the cast members had COVID. Letitia Wright, who played Shuri, she actually injured herself when she was doing one of her stunts, especially for the scene. So you can pretty much see the emotion, especially from the cast members as well. So that was practically what you would feel in this movie. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much Black Panther 2. My synopsis anyway, and my analysis of what I think the movie actually is though. So, but like I said, you guys, definitely one of the best MCU movies for sure. I know people were talking about how critical Thor Love and Thunder is with so much of the comedy amidst the serious stuff, like with Jane Foster having cancer and then her becoming Lady Thor as well. But this one is like a mixture of the two. Like, you can see the seriousness, but then you get the humor in it as well. So you can pretty much see those elements involved in Black Panther 2. So, but regardless, it was definitely really cool. And then being able to see Namor in the MCU with him actually shouting Imperious Rex, I geeked out for that too. And again, Imperious Rex means I'm going to be victorious by any means necessary. So you can pretty much see how they've studied the characters and being able to just, you know, flesh them out at the same time as well though. So, but other than that, guys, I am excited. I am thrilled for Phase 4. It was really great. I'm looking forward to Phase 5, especially with Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out next year. So it's definitely going to be pretty awesome for sure. But like I said, you guys, I enjoyed the movie. And like I said, I know people have different opinions about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Like, I know people were talking about they wanted to recast T'Challa, and honestly, it's one of those things to where it's kind of like it's like a catch-22 in a sense. It's like a darned if you do and darned if you don't. So it's kind of like one of those things. So it's like, you know, that's going to happen regardless, you know, because it's still going to be getting flat back with whatever, because if they did recast him, they think it wouldn't be honorable at all. And I know Chadwick's family was talking about that as well, though. But they did a really great job here. And the fact that we got a chance to see his son, I mean, we can pretty much see at least, you know, T'Challa coming back in the future for sure, though. So, but yeah, you can pretty much see, like, the cultural representation that takes place as well. So it's definitely all this movie as well, though. So, but everybody in all creeds were there, especially from when I saw the movie opening night. Everybody was there, especially people from all different backgrounds and all walks of life and different colors. Everybody was there though, so it was pretty cool. I mean, this movie is for everybody. I mean, this is Marvel too, so the things that bring people together is definitely sports, Marvel movies. Those are two things that bring people of all colors and creeds together, and that's what I've always been about, because most of my friends that I saw were a mix of everybody, so it was like a melting pot of cool people, man. So, but other than that, guys, it was incredible. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys have any questions, if you guys already seen Black Panther 2, I definitely enjoyed it. I had tears in my eyes. My sister did, and my friends did too. It was emotional. I even heard people down the road crying as well. But it was fun, and it was also hilarious at the same time as well. And it's definitely a beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman as well. So yeah, he definitely would love this for sure. And I know he's looking down and pretty much like, you know, he's in our hearts for sure, because like I said, Chadwick is one of my favorite actors as well. And so this is definitely paying a good tribute to him. And also, I know people were talking about this too, but the fact that Dr. Doom was rumored to show up in Black Panther 2, I'm actually glad it didn't happen, because it definitely would have taken over what the story was actually going to be about anyway, because someone as epic as Dr. Doom should pretty much be safe for phase 5 or phase 6. Now, I know next year Fantastic Four is going to start filming, so I have to think that Doom is going to show up around that time, if not before. So it definitely would make sense, the fact that he didn't show up, especially considering that I understand he's an important character, but I get the fact that also Dr. Doom and Namor have also been tag team partners before. They both tag team from a different goal before, so, and I can see that happening too. But honestly, with where they were going with this, especially in Black Panther 2, I'm actually glad that Dr. Doom didn't show up at all, especially the end credits, because normally you would see like 2 end credits, but we only got 1, and that's fine by me. With one, with T'Challa, Nakia's son, T'Challa 2, definitely makes sense for sure though. So, but regardless, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Doom showing up. There's definitely going to be some collaboration between Doom and Namor like it is in the comics, so hopefully they'll touch base on that, which that will be pretty fine as well. So it'll be pretty awesome though. So, but again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I enjoyed Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Definitely one of my my takes on it as well. So let me know what you guys think. It was incredible. Definitely incredible. It'll definitely leave in the feels too though. So, but anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If I get any more news as far as like what's going on behind the scenes in Marvel Studios and everything else, I'm definitely going to have a sit-down discussion about Black Panther Wakanda Forever as well. I'll talk about this in my next video as well. But like I said, this is my reaction video, so I wanted to just tell you guys what I think the movie is. But I'm gonna do a sit-down discussion, and we'll talk about my take again on Wakanda Forever. I'll get some people involved as well. I'll talk to my friends, or I'll interview random people, or I'll get some people that'll talk about this as well, and we'll just take it from there though. So, but anyway, guys, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. For those who are new to my channel, make sure y'all like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, if anything else comes up, I'll definitely let you guys know for sure. So stay tuned. And again, I'm going to do my sit-down reaction, my sit-down discussion on Black Panther 2, other superhero films that are coming up, and other films and documentaries as well, especially where they're going for phase 5 as well, especially with Kang the Conqueror though. So, but anyway, like I said, I'm going to do a sit-down discussion for Black Panther 2. So you guys make sure you stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I love y'all so much. Bombay! Excelsior! I'll catch you guys in the next one.